G'day viewers, the end of another week means it's time once more for Totally Fucked Up Friday. News stories from around the world that just confirm what we all suspect. The world is seriously, totally fucked up. And there's yet another appalling shooting in the US this week. I'm not going to go on about this at great length because I think it's a really complex subject. And I'm not going to fall into the trap of all these bleating people on both sides of the debate who just say the most ridiculous shit. I'm just going to say one thing, okay? Now, if you think all these shootings in the US aren't directly related to the proliferation of guns and the gun culture and there should be some restrictions, we disagree. That's okay. People can disagree. But if you're one of those people who say there can be no possible restriction on guns or access to them, no matter what, no matter how sane it is, no matter how small it is, but then you jump straight to, you know what we should restrict? This other thing, whether it's video games or minorities or whatever. The people who do that say, don't restrict guns at all. Oh, but your basic freedoms and this, oh, and your access to this, yeah, fuck, go for that. These people are scum. Worthless fucking scum, bought and paid for by the gun lobby. They're fucking vermin, and all I can say is you're really fucking lucky there's no such thing as hell, because the scum fucks who do this, the politicians, the media talking heads, the lobbyists, they would be condemned to the darkest, foulest corner of hell to be tortured non-stop for the shit they do. These people are fucking scum, and they're utterly beneath contempt. And another fucked up issue I'm just going to touch on, because I will be doing more detail in other videos, is our first week or two experiencing a new government in Australia, a Conservative coalition led by Tony Abbott. I said quite a long time ago, all you needed to know what would happen under an Abbott-led government was laid out at an incident that happened months ago at a charity event for an Indigenous charity where one of his staffers got drunk and accosted the head of the charity saying, "We're going to cut your throat when we're in." This particular coalition is all about revenge. Revenge and ideology. It's not about what's best. It's not about having the best policy. It's about getting revenge. They've declared who their enemies are, and it's all going to be about revenge. And in the first, couple of weeks of the government, we've seen the hilarity, stuff that was known that was going to happen. He was always going to get rid of the Climate Change Commission and sack the guy Tim Flannery who was in charge. He sacked a few high-level public servants. That kind of thing does happen. The unexpected one was sacking someone who'd been appointed to a diplomatic post by the previous Labor government, because that's generally regarded as something you don't do, politicising that to that degree. But they did it anyway. Again, it's just an example of their politicisation. But for me, the surprise, the one that really took my breath away, was getting rid of a science ministry. Since the early 1930s, every Australian government has had a science minister, someone responsible for promoting science, scientific research, policy, official government policy towards science. This government has just decided, science? What good's that ever done for anyone? And they've got rid of the ministry. Because we don't need science, okay? This period in history, science has been less important than ever, honestly. And that's really the only dick move that has completely surprised me. And he cut back a whole bunch of ministries, and you can't see his ideology more clearly than this. Indigenous affairs, I think several of the health portfolios, including care for the aged, and the one that I think is just a massive troll and shit stir on Abbott's part, he's got rid of a minister for women's issues, and he said he's going to look after those concerns. Oh, he'll have an advisor, but the person who has alienated a majority of women in this country has said, I'm women's minister now. That is the biggest fuck you ever. Now, I've seen some people say that this year Abbott is literally trolling. He wants his opposition to get all worked up and angry and, don't fall for it. Don't make him look good by comparison. This comes to the whole reason this channel, AngryAussie, and this persona exists, okay? Because in my experience, people who say, don't get angry, you shouldn't get angry, that's not the right approach, they're the fuckers who are behind the shit that you should be angry about. So, no, I'm not going to take that particular bait and saying, I'm not going to be shrill and attack, I'm going to attack the fuck out of this wanker, and you'll be seeing a lot of that in the coming years. I'm going to go to a slightly lighter topic now, possibly related because it involves a clown. But have you read about the Northampton clown? This is happening in Northampton in England. Someone is dressing up as a clown, and I mean like a Pennywise looking clown, and just standing around like at people's driveways on street corners holding balloons, just looking creepy as fuck. Now the guy's submitted to questioning from the newspaper. It's just fun. I'm not trying to scare anyone just because I'm behaving like the archetype of a scary clown. It's like, what's the big issue? This guy is a classic troll. I know AD and I have ended up talking about we should do some stuff being Slender Man, hanging around in trees near playgrounds and stuff. And the problem with that is while a certain subsection of the population, people who are into the internet and memes like that, would be terrified, another section is just going to go, ugh, what's that meant to be? So it's probably not worth the effort. But in terms of superstition, I also read another ghosty, scary type story. It comes from an Ohio State University student in their residence. They were convinced they had ghosts. They'd find cupboard doors open that they closed. Things moved. They were hearing noises. It must be ghosts or someone living in the fucking cellar of the building. And you see, that is my whole problem with people who go, ooh, ghosts, the spiritual, the afterlife. Horse shit. Indulging that shit means when something blindingly fucking obviously, when shit's happening and there's noises around your house, it's probably a fucking person. There's these dumb shows they run on TV with ghost hunters, exploring the paranormal. It's all fucking bullshit. You're lucky you don't live with me, because even when an ad for one of these shows come on, I start shouting at the TV. And possibly the one that bugs me most is the actual fiction series that's supposedly based on the real person, and they go, oh yeah, she helps the police, she's psychic, she can find murders. No, she can't! That fucking woman has been proven to be a fucking fraud again and again and again. She has never said anything that made any sense. She has never revealed anything that didn't have a perfectly straightforward explanation. The people who say they're psychics are fucking liars. They're frauds, charlatans. Maybe they're fucking insane. I don't know. But they don't speak to the dead, okay? They just don't. And one of these shows is actually called, Paranormal Files. Fact or fake. That would be the shortest fucking show in history. Every show would be about less than 30 seconds. Mary Jane says she's being haunted by the ghost. Is this fact or fake? It's fake! They're all fucking fake, okay? This stuff shits me so fucking much. Oh my god. And you don't need ghosts and paranormal. Real people are way worse than any sort of ghost story. And I'm going to close with a particular story. Might creep you out. There's a journalist who's facing very severe fines and threat of jail if they don't reveal their sources in a story. At first read, they go, that must be another WikiLeaks type thing, right? We've got another thing about the NSA. Snowden's put some more stuff out. It's a real state secret, and they're going to say, if you don't reveal your sources, we're going to throw you in jail. Well, it turns out it's actually for a murder trial in Chicago. And the particular sort of saucy details this guy revealed was that the accused, after murdering a couple guys, had sex on their corpses. Okay? And everything about this is wrong. I mean, obviously, the sex on the corpses is very wrong. But it isn't even the police or the government that's pursued this case that a judge has ended up agreeing with, saying, if you don't reveal your sources, we're going to throw you in jail. It's the defense lawyer. Now, some people might say, yes, well, that was prejudicial, but it was in the police reports. It was coming out in evidence anyway. The judge has said this hasn't prejudiced the trial at all because it's a fact in the police report, so it was coming out in the trial anyway. But it's just like, out of the blue, someone's gone, you know what? We should make that guy pay. And the idea that you are going to prosecute a journalist on the word of someone who's defending someone who apparently murders people, then has sex on their corpse.